Yo, what's up guys? Another video on Deragron. He was recently buffed, and we did make a video on him before. I'll showcase how that worked out in a second. Currently, he does up to 200%, which was 100% before. What is this unit good? Well, he has the unique mechanic that if he gets healing, he will change that healing into attack bar gain. That does also mean that he's pretty hard to heal. However, if he kills something by himself, he will get full HP right away. But he has to kill something himself. It doesn't really work like a Carlos where if anything gets killed by anything, you gain it. Now he has to be the killing blow. But he can do a lot more damage right now. Last time around, I showed it that he could get infinite turns in Rift Beasts. That does look something like this. The moment he does enough damage and he's low enough HP, he's on Vampire, he's on Life Drain kind of artifacts, he will just start rocking a lot of turns. You do have to get into the groggy state for him to actually do that, because without the groggy state, he doesn't really do enough damage. So from this point on, he starts getting infinite turns, infinite turns. We gotta keep in mind, he was doing about like 160 on skill 1s and 240 on skill 2s. We're going to crank up those numbers. We're first going to test with kind of a similar build as that we had over here. And then we're going to see if we can actually crank those numbers up to a lot and make him actually viable. Because in this case, it is just kind of a niche thing. It's fun, like he kind of destroys it. He does like 6 million damage, blah, blah, but it's not really that interesting that I would say like, hey, start using this thing. Maybe with the extra 200% that he can do right now rather than 100%, he could be useful. Let's see. So first of all, for the build, the skill 1 does not have a build in recovery. The skill 2 does have that. So therefore, we do need to get vampire runes in, and we want to get as much life drain as possible. Also, skill 1 recovery will help a little bit more, because the skill 2 will recover enough regardless, because the recovery is built in the skill 2, and it does more damage than the skill 1 in the first place. So if you can get a little bit of recovery skill 1, that's probably the moment where he gets less recovery in, and therefore you do extra damage. For the build itself, you want to get as little HP as possible. And what is the reason that you want to get as little HP as possible? Well, the less HP you have, the more percentage-wise your healing is going to be. How much defense you have doesn't really matter. So we do want to go for as little HP as possible. If I were to have something that is not max upgraded, then you could lower this HP by a little bit more, but we're going to go for this right now. That is a decent amount. I am lacking crit rate, but I'll just go for crit rate lead just to make things a little bit easier on that point. And let's try him out in the same style of team that I used last time. So that's pretty much this team. However, one thing is different. I only have 66 crit rate right now. I do need an 85, so I'm just going to go for simple crit rate lead. Let's see how much this does with the 200% right now, and then we're going to actually crank up those numbers by an insane amount, because there's a few ways that we can crank up those numbers by a lot, I do think. So let's see what we can do. So we first, of course, kind of have to clear that. And, yep, the first clear is like that. Okay, that's fine. How much are you on the attack bar? Yep, armor breaks in there. How much are we doing? Skill 2. Okay, we're doing like 200-ish, where we were doing like 160 before. So it definitely is doing more damage. Of course, it is still rocking in like the permanent turn, and he's at some point something will tend to get a turn, but he's kind of rocking in the permanent turn as we did before, and also we can see that he's doing more damage right now. However, as mentioned, there's a few ways that we can crank up this damage by a decent amount, and with that decent amount, it's going to be a very decent amount. So maybe that might actually be usable in R5 as well, but we're gonna have to try that out and first see if that would work. So what are the options to bring him more damage? Well, first of all, Hong Neong will go for skill 3, and as long as she doesn't take a turn, any turn that any of your allies get, the ally will get an attack buff. For that reason, any turn that he gets, he will have attack buff. Then second of all, attack buff can be stronger due to a Miriam. Then third of all, we're gonna add in a Deborah, because every hit then will take extra damage as well. And I think that is about it for how much you can crank up the damage. I don't have a Lucifer, I don't have a Hurtite. Those two things could crank up the damage even more. I could add in a branding, but it's a little bit hard to time the branding on the right moment. But of course, with the branding, he would do more damage too. Of course, we gotta triple fight everything, otherwise it's not fun enough. Okay, added in a potential brander as well. I think I might remove the awakening. I think I might remove the crit lead in a second to just go for an attack lead on fire or whatnot, just to add in a little bit more damage, because I could go for a 50 on that. But I would drop down instead a decent amount. I did check that already. But let's see how much this is going to be rocking for damage. And maybe this is something that is viable for R5. So I'm not sure if that was the right skill. I don't think so. I think it was the wrong one. I think you have to play the other song. Okay, we do smack in a lot of damage already, but I have to be playing the other song to actually rock in the proper amount of damage. How much are we hitting right now for... Okay, we are hitting a whole bit more already, but that's just simply due to more fight runes and... Wow, that's simply due to more fight runes and having the... Yeah, more fight runes, that's the main thing. Just only... Yeah, and Debra. Debra helps out a little bit. Doesn't help as much in this dungeon as you might think, but it does help out a little bit as well. So let's see if we can get an attack buff from you over there. Yep, we did get the attack buff. So therefore, we still rock in every turn pretty much like that because it still works, which is pretty insane. Okay, so we did about 8 mil right now without attack buff. So let's actually play it on manual and then see how much damage we can do that way. Oh, that's also apparently my newest highest. I never really did this one, I guess. Okay, so we have the Millennium Melody that we have to do. And then from here, we can actually auto the rest, because the rest doesn't really matter what we do. In this case, anything that will take a turn will get the attack buff right away. So that is the main thing that we're aiming for to hit that, okay? We do have to get an armor break early on. Okay, that was an armor break early on. 850k per hit. 500,000 on skill once. Jesus fuck. His damage is absolutely absurd. Yeah, okay, he's gonna take infinite turns on that pretty much. I could make the other things like 0 attack bar to never take a turn, but wow, if I get a branding in on this, I could actually do an insane amount of damage. If I make the other two like super slow where they never take a turn, I would just have to see where I can get a branding at the right timing. Maybe I have to make one unit like 1 speed slower than him. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to see if I can get that in, because this is absolutely insane, actually. But what the hell is that damage? If I get a branding in, he's gonna deal so freaking much damage. Plus, I'm gonna switch out the attack lead as well. Wow, 50.6 mil, that's insane. So if we add in a Joe gun, we have a lot more extra damage. We have to change this build a little bit though, which would look something like this, but that is enough for it right now. We could do extra damage on winds with this, but I definitely have to keep in the life drain to actually hit properly enough. But let's see if we can get like a damage on wind just for like the maximum test. Okay, own skill is already better, but let's just get a damage on wind. Might take a little bit of time. Damage on wind 8. Perfect. Actually didn't even take that long. We're at 45. Wow, that's gonna be insane. That's going to be really insane. Then I do want to make sure that these things all don't take turns and only this thing is taking turns. So let's see how we could make that work, where the tuning is a little bit better. Okay, so I managed to remove all speed from the 2 hammer girls. I just have to make this one a little bit slower right now, where it could tune in right after you. Okay, so technically you will take the turn after right now. I'm gonna manual the first few turns just to see that you do the right skill. You will go for the branding at the right moment, and then we're gonna auto from there. So let's see if we can make like an insane amount of damage score on this, because this is actually kind of funny. Wait, was that the right skill? Yeah, I think that was the right skill. That's good. So, let's see. I do want to kill this thing before... Yep, okay, that's good. Then we first have to armor break. Did get an armor break there. Still rocking in pretty much same damage. Now, we're doing a little bit more damage than the other time. Okay, there's simply just no cutting this. Okay, now we did get the cut. We did get the branding. Oh, he does waste double turn on that. That's actually kind of bad. I kind of want to have a brander that doesn't waste double turn. But let's see how much damage we get from here. Wait, how much are you actually rocking in with these hits? Wait, is that branding barely helping? Or is it just me? No, for some reason, it feels like we're not doing that much more damage with the branding than without. That's kind of strange. Well, we did rock in more damage in the end. That is definitely a good part. It felt like the branding kind of did like about same to similar-ish damage, which is kind of strange. I thought the branding would do more than it would have already shown there. But yeah, if you add this with, let's say, a Lucifer or something, then you would do an insane amount of damage. Let's just make sure that we can clear it, but shouldn't be that hard. Especially with those kind of skills. 18 mil, wow. That's absolutely insane. But there was one turn wasted, where he took the double turn, which we don't really want. 90 mil. Okay, let's remove the Lucas for something else that can brand a little bit better and in a different way. Okay, we're using an Argon right now, which can also brand on the skill 3. So let's go for that. It's still 1 speed below. Let's actually see if we can go for a rotation where maybe we just go skill once on the boss at first. And for that reason, we're going to have less attack bar up, which means that we can do for the branding earlier. Let's see if we can make that manage. So if we just go for skill 1 rotation, okay, then you move right away. That's not what we want. He has to start off with a skill 2, otherwise he immediately gets cut because he doesn't do enough damage when there's no death break, which does make sense in the end. Yep, from here he will start rocking in the turns. Because the more healing he gets, the more damage he's starting to rock in every time. Armor break on the very first hit, nice. Yeah, we do add in a little bit more damage for the branding, but for some reason the branding is not doing an insane amount more. We did get the branding over there, that's good, just a 1-turn hit. Yeah, we're doing like 40-50k more with the branding. I'm actually surprised about that. I expected the branding to add in a lot more damage than we're doing already, but interesting to see that it's not that much more. But let's just click skills that we make sure that we always use the S2 when available. Just because this is the highest run we're gonna do. This actually does waste. Wait, if we do that. He ran out of turns, otherwise we could have had one more hit in. That is too bad. If we had one more hit in, we had like a clean, like, mil extra damage in. That is too bad, that is too bad. But still, this is still rocking an insane amount of damage in here. That is absolutely true. And a yeet. Yeah, if I get that one extra turn in, so you need a little bit more damage to rock in enough attack bar to gain enough attack bar, but still, that is a pretty high run. I'm not sure if it's like how much that is on the leaderboard. Probably not that crazy because people go with all kinds of specific teams that, yeah, with the brand, yeah, and blah, 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 that kind of stuff with all the debuffs. But still, then again, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. Do I really recommend to use it? Not 100% sure yet. So where can we make this that this is actually viable? Because in the end, Rift Beasts, no one really cares. But how about R5? Could we make an R5 team where this kind of makes sense to a certain extent? Well, the weird thing about R5 is, A, that I never have it ruined up because I'm not doing R5 these days. That is a thing. But you could make it infinitely hit, maybe, if the other teams do provide armor break branding. Would it then never start losing its turn? Let's actually see if we can go for a team like that. And let's actually see if we can just get a team around something that I currently have ruined rather than like this 90% that isn't ruined. Okay, so the left team is kind of already set. I'm gonna use a Freya to let the Freya die and therefore heal everything up and therefore we can move on to the next thing. Let's see if that actually works out. I think I have to slow you down in a bit of speed as well, otherwise the boss wouldn't take a turn. Also, we can change this one back to the original state because I do have the lead of crit rate in here. Then I just have to make some Death Breaker team on the right side and Brander team mid and left right side and those kind of things. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff not being ruined over here right now, but I'm gonna do the most lazy way out and I'm gonna let Come To Us tell me what I should use for those runes because this is just a tryout team anyways. Okay, everything is seemingly runes. Let's see if this actually is a something or that it's just a horrible idea. I think it's going to be the second one, but let's see. So everything gets cleansed over there. We do get the armor break in right away. Oh, doesn't have attack buff yet. You're hitting without attack buff, sir. Oh, that's because he got healing in. Yeah, because of the healing, he instantly gets the attack buff. But let's see what happens at this stage, though. Because he actually did clear it reasonably fast, though. Okay, still no attack buff for him. He does probably get the attack buff over here, and he starts smacking with attack buff. 160k on that S2 with attack buff. So yes, this is actually working. And how fast is 28 seconds? Wait, what? Wait. That doesn't make any sense. How is this 28 seconds? And I literally just threw in whatever. And he doesn't even have the attack buff to work with. Let's check for like the difference in damage. So yeah, he's hitting like 160. He's hitting that without attack buff. But getting him attack buff when he's being healed by a Freya is probably pretty difficult because he gets a full HP heal from that Freya. And that is an issue too where he dies. We can't have him dying. So he needs a good amount of defense or an attack break to actually make it work. But I think this team... Yeah, these teams probably don't really fail, especially if you have like this team with a Nikki in there. R5 is so easy. Why can we not get R6? But yeah, if you do want like a niche team for slow clear on this, it's not even that bad. It's legit not even that bad. Let's see if we can slightly change that. Maybe just give you fastest runes as possible again on triple fight and then see how it goes from there. Okay, fast set triple fight. I do want you to be a little bit more tanky though. Do I have a build that has more defense? He already has a decent amount of defense though. Well, in this case, easiest thing to get extra defense is just defense artifacts. Do we have defense artifacts with life drain? Most likely not. I tend to sell all life drain kind of nonsense. Yep. Okay, I'm not sure if you were to remove the life drain because the life drain part is the part which makes him hit really hard. Okay, in this case, this is actually kind of something cohesive working for that, so we're gonna take that. These things don't really work anything related to life training. Let's just get in one then, because the right side artifacts is the worst artifact anyways. We have the recovery in there. So let's see if this works. If there was an attack break / glancing on this boss, it would be easy as well. So you would kind of have to provide that from any of the side units. Okay, this thing still moves in front of that even though... Wow, okay. That thing apparently still moves in front. That is not great. That is not great, but it kind of does work. It is kind of funny. Okay, it did survive right now. He's still taking turns. And you take a simple S1 turn. You useless freaking thing on the left, man. I'm not sure because the boss has different speeds. If the left one has the lowest speed, maybe she can start playing the song right away. But 27 seconds is absolutely not bad. This is for just smacking in a random R5 team. This is absolutely not bad. Let's actually check who's doing the most damage. She started with a skill 1. So yeah, she can outspeed. That's what I mentioned. Like, they have 3 different kind of speeds. And I'm pretty sure that he can one-tap the boss with an S2 if he does get an attack buff. I'm 100% sure about that even. So let's try to get a match in where he gets like the attack buff right away. And then he goes from there. But look at how much damage this thing is doing, man. This thing is rocking so freaking much damage. Well, this low-key, I think that people can find out teams where this thing is actually usable and you don't have to go for Bill, because 28 seconds is not bad at all. Thing is, well, how many turns does he take? Like, if you get something with perfect AI attack buff right away, then maybe that would be more interesting. Is that the right one? Yep, that is the right one. Okay. So we even lapped the boss where the boss didn't even take its turn yet. So wait, the boss didn't take the turn yet. wait, is he therefore going to die after this jump? No, wait, we get the recovery in here, so he gets extra attack buff for that recovery. If we, there was a late armor break, did get the armor break in. The left boss didn't even move. Wait, the left, it didn't even move. That's insane. I've never seen it where you clear R5 where one head simply did not move. That is absolutely insane. I'm not sure if this is going to be good, but that is pretty fucking bonkers. I definitely do think that you can make a team out of that where that kind of works. And sure, there is like the difference in how to use it. Maybe you should put will runes on it so you don't have to work with a Freya and therefore you can do something different. But the Freya does give him the instant turn even if you have like 0 HP on it because it will give him a big healing. So yeah, there's definitely a few ways in this where I would say that this seems to be pretty strong. So he gets the attack buff over there and then one chop. And a second chop, 150k per hit. That's absolutely insane. I think R5 has like, what, 600, 700k HP or some weird shit. He's pretty much like half HPing that thing like in a few hits. And keep in mind that the other 2 teams are not optimized for this at all. Actually, this whole team is not optimized. I just smacked in a bunch of shit. And normally with the other teams that I do, like the 22-second teams, you kind of have to like fine-tune and everything. But in this case, it's just... He's just smacking. He's just hella heavy smacking on this. So yeah, in the end, could you use this towards PvP as well? Maybe, but it's kind of the same issue as I did mention before as well. He is something that is dying most of the time. So I kind of like him more PvE than PvP because if you have him at all fierce at all times, it's like, ooh, he could die, ooh, he could die. Because you have to get him as low HP as possible. He might not be that interesting. But this thing for R5 is low-key actually fucking insane. Like, this just works. This thing smacks. Sure, you need like a proper amount of fight sets on it. The Debra does help out a lot. Without the Debra, you would do a lot less. That is definitely a thing. So yeah, now we're going into the rotation again, where we don't use, or the left head doesn't get any turns. So let's see if we can make that work once again. He's definitely going to get enough attack bar from this hit. If there's an armor break, there is armor break right away. If we can S2, S2 should clear. Wow, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Did not expect to get an R5D. 24 seconds. Hey, it might be something, like this thing smacks. Like, sure, he needs proper, decent, good runes. And he needs life drain artifacts, which I do think a lot of people have sold, same as me. But yeah, this thing insane. That guys, let me know if you enjoyed this kind of videos. If you have any other unit that I might be interested in looking at for a weird scenario, let me know in the comments. And I might actually be trying some more out with this unit because he smacks heavy hard. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you later.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.